Welcome back to Battle for the Rift by Giant Slayer. So we're now moving into our third series of the day. It's been an extremely quick day. We've had 2-0s all across the board so far. I'm Jason Kaplan, joined by Maxman and the mullet apparently Excoundrel has.
Look, I'm going to show you.
But you
I'm
know what?
going to show you. It's not a mullet, okay? I have to show you. It's like quite a lot of hair that I can actually tie into a ponytail if I really want to. But it's not a mullet.
I respect it.
It's just a lot of hair.
I wish I had that much hair. Jeez, no.
Yeah, I was going to say I respect it because my hair is up right now, but if I put it down, it would actually be down to my nose. It's just really slick back.
This is 8 months of lockdown, not getting my hair cut.
Well, you know what? You're still looking handsome, and we are about to get into our third game of the day, which honestly is going to be an interesting one, I'd say. Game Lord, which we talked about before, Excoundrel, as being the favorites in your opinion in this series, up against the Fastpay Wildcats, who have had some roster changes for themselves here. So, Max, Fastpay Wildcats, we got to see them in Baron fight. They didn't fare too well, unfortunately, but I'm hoping with the recent changes they have had within the team that they're going to be able to rise up to the occasion here.
Yeah, I'm just happy that we still got Gandalf and OPC in their respective positions. I think that they were the bread and butter for the team into this one, and I'm just happy that they're still here. Of course, there's still many big changes, especially on the flank ton, as you just mentioned. Rex also now being added to the team. So I'm really intrigued because this is going to be the first time I'm actually going to be seeing Rex play into this one. So I'm really hyped to see how he's going to be actually able to fare up against the likes of Game Lord. But this is going to be also the very first time we're going to see the new Game Lord roster under the new banner of the team play a competitive match. So I'm also really hyped up for that. So this is going to be a great matchup for these two teams to prove these changes were actually worthwhile.
Yeah, and then you saw there at the very end of the bracket, Trovanova up against Tribe as our very last game of the series. But Excoundrel, you've been talking up so much about Gaylord, and I'm kind of with you here. Notice Singularity in the past.
Yeah, Random, he is the rank 1 player he was a very early rank 1 player in season 1 on the European ladder. For a difference, he is a nutty jungler. I just think that this has got there's a really strong roster here for Game Lord, and they took the best of a couple of teams and kind of fused them together, and it's almost like a super roster that's coming into this tournament. So I'm really excited to see how they play. For Fastpay Wildcats, as Max said, Gandalf a great mid laner, and so I'm expecting him. Twisted Fate could be a big pick for him. I've seen him playing it and spamming it in solo queue. So I think, in fact, I actually played against him a couple of times. Beat him once. Just gonna let you know, I beat him once. But otherwise, I could see something like a Twisted Fate coming out from Gandalf. But Fastpay Wildcats are a team that has had up and down performances. Sometimes they've really surprised us and kind of taken a win where they shouldn't have done. I remember them beating Tribe very early on in one of the tournaments in the early European scenes. So it's like they do have the potential. They've definitely got the potential to upset Game Lord here.
And I do have to say, as we were kind of pointing out the difference in rosters, Orion, who originally was the AD carry, went to top. We had Rex, as Max pointed out, coming as the AD carry. But on the other side, we also lost the AD carry for Game Lord, Redemption, who, for me, dating back to Vainglory, like he was a phenomenal player then as an AD carry, basically. And he's been playing phenomenally when it's come to Wild Rift, but he's actually switched over to the sub position, which is really interesting to me. So that puts a lot of pressure on Do and B here to step up.
I'm really intrigued to see how he's going to be working out in this game. I think they're still trying things out, and especially I remember I was talking with the now, which is the coach. He also does some analyst work, which is going to be the side of Dooms, and he's been really trying to set up the team as much success as possible into this one. So I think they can still make it through. This is going to be a trial by fire, like it's single elimination. So I'm hoping that what they've been working on for the past month has been working, and hopefully is going to be the case here.
I'm trying to work out. Sorry, I was going to say I'm trying to work out who Doinby is, because obviously Doinby's the mid laner for FPX in League of Legends, so it's like a fan name, right? But who's Doinby actually? Is it Quantum? Is it maybe Redemption? I don't know. I want to know who Doinby actually is in terms of the player
question.
name. I actually don't know who it is.
The great thing about their team is their coach Doom is always so communicative when it comes to us. We can request a certain champion being picked. We still haven't seen the Blitzcrank, which I'm really sad to see, Max. But we'll ask him while we do have the game kicking off. We're into the draft here, so we're going to throw it up on your screens as we get underway here with our third series and our very first match for this game. Head-to-head, single elimination. Let's kick it off, boys.
Muchas gracias, Jason, even though the Spanish matchup is already over. But we're going to get right into this one once again for our third BA3 series of the day. And just to rectify also, in the ESL Premiership, they did actually give us the Blitzcrank. So that was actually pretty interesting, even though it was like the Singularity team still... we still did get Blitzcrank at the end in that tournament. So I was still pretty happy about that one. Lux, though being banned away by the Wildcats, pretty happy to see, and also Ziggs, that I'm just hoping we're never going to see that furry little ball of hate in this game today. So he's going to be banned away once more. That's the 5th time we're going to see him taken off the board. So I'm not really too surprised by these bans, but I'm seeing Lee Sin still open. Do not give it away to For a Difference, please. Otherwise, you're going to have a real hard time.
Yeah, and Scout not going to get his hands on the Lux here either. Fastpay Wildcats really respecting the Lux support power. Definitely seen some good Lux performances throughout today. Ziggs and Gragas, very popular bans right now. We've talked about the power of Ziggs. It's been a 100% ban rate, Ziggs, so far, I believe. Braum also going to get taken off the table here. So some of the top tier supports being limited by Fastpay Wildcats. Wonder if Diana will be the final ban here for Game Lord, because that has been 100% pick ban and has been a first pick for pretty much every blue side when it's been available. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Diana come up from Game Lord as the final ban.
Yeah, I'm sure Gandalf will play that one really well if he's able to get control and get that champion under his control. So we'll see. We've got 20 seconds before we get the very last ban into this one. And not only that, also the Kaiser's still making it on through into the ban phase. So I could still potentially see that coming on through. Play with the likes of Doing B. I'm sure he could play it. I haven't seen Rex, as I said. He's going to be the unknown factor. He's going to be the X part of the equation for me for Fastpay Wildcats. So I'm intrigued, but it's not going to be that ADC. It's going to be another one. The Zaya is going to be the ban from Game Lord, still meaning that Lee Sin is still open. And if they do give that over to Game Lord, I'm a little bit scared for them, because he is clearly one of the best, if not the single best Lee Sin in the region right now, I would say, with the likes of also Ghost for Na'Vi. So Orion is going to be the one first picking. With all the champions available, there's so many options at hand, but intrigued to see what they decide to commit to here.
Diana obviously open again. Yeah. Something that they may feel comfortable going for, but it's going to be... That's interesting with Lee Sin up, actually. That's interesting with the Lee Sin available. That seems like a relatively easy Lee Sin pickup now for Game Lord. But Wukong has been a high priority for junglers in this tournament just because of the teamfight utility that he brings. The teamfight setup, the easy engage. And of course, we know Wild Rift primarily revolves around teamfights and kind of areas of the map where you're going to initiate teamfights, like those dragons and potentially at Rift Heralds. But Diana Akali, that is disgusting. Hurts. Random is a nutty Akali player. Yiku is going to be playing on the Diana. This is disgusting. With the Zaya band as well, there are very few AD carries that are going to be able to just sort of withstand this double dive pressure of 2 AP assassins. I am not looking forward to Rex having a game, but I think this is a really good answer. You've seen 2 AP assassins come out. The Galio gets locked in, so that's a great answer in terms of what the best answer I think that Fastpay Wildcats could have gone for is that Galio in itself.
Yeah, of course, you're going to be able to soak up some of that AP damage as Galio in the mid lane position. Gandalf tends to play it quite a fair bit. And there you go. You got the Kaiser on top of it. I was going to say I would have liked the Kaiser to maybe go the way of Fastpay Wildcats in a way, because it could have been really good to actually follow up, because this is a really big dive composition with the Wukong, the Camille, and also that Galio. So I would have enjoyed it. But Doing B, he's going to be the one to actually... I don't know. Do we call him Doing B or Doing B CS Hack? Because we're going to think is another player entirely.
You can call him Doing B, but he's actually... I've confirmed with the Game Lord coach it's Quantum. So Quantum is an incredibly skilled player. He kind of like shot to fame over the last month or two in terms of his prowess on the solo queue ladder in Europe. He's a really, really good player.
Okay, so we'll go with maybe Quantum into that one with Doing B also from time to time. They're going to close it off with the Seraphine, so I'm happy. This is going to be the very first Seraphine into this game. But the main issue I'm thinking with Seraphine is that you're looking at the Encore. It's actually a pretty slow ability. You can react to it pretty nicely if you got good reaction time. The mobility on the opposing side, I'm looking at especially the Akali and also the Diana, and also you got the Killer Instinct coming on through from Quantum then. They could very easily dodge that ability if they're good on their reaction time, so I'm a little bit skeptical. But we do see then the final pickup coming out from Game Lord actually being Jhin. And I'm not going to lie, in competitive, I very rarely see Jhin. So I'm actually really stoked to see it coming on through here for Game Lord.
Is this Jhin mid, Diana jungle?
I don't think that the swaps are... We should take the swaps into account here because they got a little bit messed up in our second game. So I don't know. I think it's going to be ADC. I think that's what we could be expecting. Actually, wait. Actually, no. Maybe I'm seeing a bunch of
there's Kaiser
right now because you got Kaiser. Yeah, exactly.
It's Kaiser. So I imagine it's Kaiser, Janna bot. It's Diana jungle. We're going to see Random playing on the Akali. And the only other feasible place that Jhin can go is mid lane. And Jhin into a Galio. Galio is traditionally good against AP mids. He's not particularly strong against AD mids. Jhin, obviously, an AD mid laner. That is it. It will be Yiku playing the Jhin mid. I haven't seen Jhin mid since Jhin was released on PC. That was a thing that happened when Jhin was released on the PC variant, and now we're seeing Jhin mid coming out from Game Lord. This is super interesting, but you've got to be a little careful because the Wombo combo from Fastpay Wildcats in a team fight absolutely trumps Game Lord. Like, can you imagine Seraphine ultimate into the Wukong Galio combo? That's pretty gosh darn disgusting.
Yeah. I'm going to actually outdo you on that one. I'm even going to say I've never seen Jin mid. So this is going to be a big learning experience for me. But I actually really like it for many reasons. Also because you are playing versus Gandalf in mid, which typically why you would want to play a Galio is because it does really good into AP champions. Like, hey, not going to put AP in mid. No, we're going to go for AD, mate. We're going to put the Jin in that position. So Gandalf really, a part of his kit's going to be already taken away, but Orion already getting dived on earlier. And you said it earlier, Excoundrel. And if you guys have been watching and consuming any kind of European esports for Wildrift, and you've seen random play, you know how nutty he is on the Akali. Rex having to flash away. The shield is there. Not required. He's going to be able to get the heal just in time. Man, okay, I was not ready to scream that early on. Okay, you got it. Game Lord are thirsty for blood. Jesus.
I mean, Scowl just looking for these big tornadoes, and unfortunately Rex getting caught out by one early on. Very close to going down. Has to burn the barrier and take the healing plant. Flankton now taking a bunch of damage as well. That's one basic attack from dying. They're going to have to use that heal. Look at the dominance of this 2v2 lane.
So it's not even a 2v2. It seemed like a 5v2, to be honest. And you're even going to have the rotation coming out from For a Difference with the Diana. He is level 3. Haven't hit the level 5 power spike just yet, but he's looking for it. He sees the backport. Going to try and cancel it. Now it's going to be the dive in the tower. And Rex, you already used the flash earlier. I mean, he can't escape from this one. That's going to be the first blood coming over to none other than For a Difference on a Diana. Give the lead to the wrong person, my friend, and they're going to go for the second. Flash coming out from Flankton, and he's about to get picked up by Yeku. The kill will go to the support, but it doesn't matter. What good early map control is already coming out from Game Lord. This is nutty since minute 1.
Yeah, really good stuff from Game Lord. And again, they punished the 2v2 that went so heavily in favor of Game Lord. That is just pure laning diff. I want to give you some kind of extra, sort of facet to that analysis, but this is just pure lane diff from Game Lord. They absolutely outclassed in the 2v2, and because they burnt so many resources in a pure 2v2 fashion, it was far too easy for Game Lord to look for a bot lane dive and capitalize on that. Now Random looking to be aggressive on Orion. And you can see that the Game Lord just setting up around the dragon, which will spawn in a minute 30. But I don't really think the Fastpay Wildcats are going to find much versus Akali. She hasn't quite frozen the lane, but she's kept it close enough to her tower that, combined with that shroud, she should be in a perfectly comfortable scenario.
This is already just looking so scary. Like, the goalie's already off 2,000, and we're just about 3 minutes in, so things are definitely not looking too good. Though top side is seeing a big rotation coming on through from the jungler. Going to be Orion going pretty low, and they're actually going to try and take him down, but man, he's still got the Twilight Shroud. He picks it up, he goes back into the mystery zone, but he should lose his life eventually. It will be a one-on-one trade-off, but still able to make an even trade in that situation is big from Random once again. Yeah,
but he's already built up a really nice gold lead over Orion in the top side of the map too. So Random really putting down the pressure on this Camille. And one of the things that is really hard for Camille in this matchup is even if she locks Akali into Hextech Ultimatum, Akali just drops the Shroud and outlasts the duration of the Hextech Ultimatum. So it's so difficult. It is absolutely difficult to really find that 1v1 edge versus Akali as a Camille. And I expect Random to continue to do fine in that matchup. I'm loving this Jin mid into the Galio as well. You can see how difficult it is for Gandalf to survive effectively in that matchup too. And we have the dragon spawning in 10 seconds. Very good start for Game Lord in this game.
Yeah, I mean, just a perfect start. There's literally nothing to say. Wildcats are struggling. The Turkish guys are having a real hard run for their money, though we are seeing some big items already getting purchased, especially for Gandalf. He's already got the Rod of Ages, so he's going to get a little bit more tanky in the next 5 minutes and also get some extra AP ratios, though the Drake is now up. Not going to be going for it just yet. The Scuttle, I believe, is going to be spawning in a very near future, but that's actually going to be then Game Lord. They got the control. They're going to clear out the wards thanks to the sweeper that was used by For a Difference. You've got to be very careful about Flankton, though. That damage you can chuck over the wall is going to be huge if you do not take into consideration. But the Drake's going so low, and there's literally no competition. They're like, we can't fight. They're just too strong now. We can't take the engage.
And Game Lord, this is a stark contrast to the way that we've seen leads built up from Team Queso and Na'Vi. Game Lord have just done this from laning diff. Like, Game Lord have built this advantage up just from pure 2v2 and 1v1 skill. Jason talked a little bit earlier about how not many teams have had a chance to flex their muscles in the laning phase. Not many teams have had a chance to show that they have that capability to just have the pure outplay potential at this stage in the game. Game Lord are doing that. This advantage, this edge has been built up purely from the laning phase. And that's really refreshing to see, because it shows you that how strong this team is. This performance from Game Lord is definitely showing that we can't count Na'Vi and Queso as absolute favorites. This new super team with filled with incredibly talented players clearly has come together and is absolutely firing on all cylinders for this tournament.
Yeah, because I was talking with Dooms and he said, do not expect no, the Singularity at the time, now the new Game Lord, to be ready until like early May. So we're now in that time portion where they are looking like they're the very scary team. They're fully prepared, and I think that we should take them into consideration as not only just winning this match, but also winning the entire tournament. They're looking like the super team already. And we'll have to see when we get even further, hitting tomorrow on Sunday, the big matches also with the likes of Team Kesso. But that's going to be the Moonfall coming on through. The shield is going to be big from Rex. That's one ultimate already down the drain, not doing as much as you might expect. Though OPC going straight for valuable target, and they go for the encore. Nice CC, but unfortunately, I mean, the follow-up is just so slow to join up, and that's still a full team alive for the side of Game Lord, and they're just going to be sniping from a distance with a curtain call. And Yeku's going to be there to close the gap. He's going to get potentially the root, not able to quite hit in time. He's going to jump back on over, and only one champion is up. It's Galio, but Gandalf, indeed, he's not going to be passing. He's going to go straight into the afterlife, as now he's going to be the focus right onto the Herald here, Excoundrel.
Oh, my word. I mean, that was just devastation. I mean, you look at Game Lord, they have this Akali, this Diana. They want to separate this team fight out. They want to isolate members and take them out as well. And you see the value of the Jhin in these team fights too. Like, he opens up that curtain call, and that automatically creates pressure in a team fight. That makes it difficult to position. That forces Fastpay Wildcats to just step out of position once or twice to dodge those bullets. And, you know, Game Lord are able to strike and find those individual pickoffs. And remember, if you take out the Seraphine, you take out the Ezreal, you're taking out the majority of the consistent damage from Fastpay Wildcats. And two AP Assassins very easily able to put pressure on those very squishy targets in the backline, who are very behind on their item spikes because they have both gone for tier-based builds. And that is delaying their power spikes greatly, allowing Game Lord to really excel at this stage of the game as well. Next Dragon is Infernal. Game Lord just able to sort of split pressure right now with Akali pressuring out the top lane. I'm really feeling that Game Lord have this game in the bag right now. Obviously, things can change, but a 6k gold lead at 7 minutes into the game, very difficult for them to come back from.
Close the gap. Hectic Ultimatum. That's a really good Hectic Ultimatum coming out from Orion, able to negate a big portion of the burst of random. So he's going to move away, and able to get the trade-off. There's going to be a one-on-one trade in terms of ultimates, so not available for the next engage potentially. Though, as you mentioned, especially those AP Assassins, right? Random. I still got to get used to calling him Random. He was called, like, Rampog for, like, so long. I think it was, like, for 3-4 months I was calling him Rampog. So I'm going to get used to it eventually. But he's just doing so much heavy lifting. The damage in this game is just nutty. That is why he was banned all the time until now. And the moment he makes it through, give it over to Random. There you go. I said I was going to get it wrong eventually. Things are not going to be looking too good for the Wildcats. They get himself the mid tower, big map control in terms of the jungle, and now Gandalf, he's going to be caught out of position, loses his tower, loses his blanket of cover, tries to move away. The root, oh my god, the flash does not work out, and the instant dive is going to be followed up. He gets knocked away. That killer instinct was on point from the Kai'Sa, and that is going to be the follow-up potential. Infernal Drake, as you mentioned, Excoundrel is open, and Game Lord, they're going to instantly pick it up.
This is the thing. When your assassins get this far ahead and you're just able to pick off one or two members, it instantly creates man advantages for you on the map. And Game Lords are just cruising now in this first game. 8 minutes in, almost a 10k gold lead, 9k at the maximum already built up. And there has yet to be an objective traded, yet to be an objective picked up by Fastpay Wildcats. This is a big shift from the old Singularity. A team that has got a renewed presence, I think, as a roster. I'm very, very, very excited to see what they can continue to do, especially with this, you know, a draft that can be considered a risky draft. You know, like a Jhin in the mid lane is a very risky thing to play. That's an aggressive position by Shao, but a beautiful Monsoon.
The Monsoon able to actually put him right in the tower. That's going to be big, though. They get the redemption, heal a little bit more. Flankton there to join the party. Going to hit the root just in time, providing a lot of breathing space for Orion to move away from that fight. Same for no PC, actually. Though bottom side, I mean, this is also why Rampog is so, well, there you go, Random. Why Random is so good. He does perfectly well in the fights, but his split pushing capabilities and map awareness is just on a completely different landscape of his own. So I gotta say, he's definitely looking good. Not quite able to get the tower just yet. It doesn't really matter because he forced a response. The Baron is about to spawn, so that's going to be a lot of vision potentially planted up in the top side of the map for the entirety of Game Lord. So they're going to have always priority when it comes down to it, because the vision on the other side is just really weak, I would say, right now.
They are so far ahead. They can just go for a Baron. There is no vision right now on it for Fastpay Wildcats. I'm sure they know it's happening. Rampog finds the 1v1 kill in the side lane.
It's 1v2.
The Baron gets spawned. Yeah, I mean, Gandalf turned up a little late. Won't find the kill either. This is just domination from the new Game Lord team.
Hey, they're having some real fun onto this one. They're smurfing it for sure. Yeku's got himself his 4th bullet and not going to be able to chuck it just yet. Let's hit maybe the root. Not going to be hitting either. Just going to go a little bit wide. But they got the Baron buff off of that one. Like, literally instant it spawned. With 30 seconds in, they're already using the Baron to take down this second mid lane tower. That is, they pick it up so quickly. They use it so efficiently and quickly too. And there's no way that Wildcats can get back into this game. Because you have, if you guys are not too familiar with the competitive side of Wildrift, 1,000 gold per minute is like a big advantage point, and they're over that. They've completely blown that advantage, that lead, out of the water, and now they're going to keep building on top of it and making it almost impossible to make the comeback. But no, PC is still going to try to create a scenario. Encore not going to be hitting too many targets, unfortunately, and the Monsoon going to be just able to build so much breathing space for Yeku, and now it's time for him to re-engage. Sure, he's going to be potentially moved back, but now it's time to go for the snipes, time to go for the curtain call, the fourth bullet. Where will it come on through? So much damage on the Seraphim. Flankton will still walk away alive, but before how long? Because for a difference is they're going to go for the Moonfall. They only have one more opponent left. It is Gandalf that's separating them away from the Nexus, and I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, he's clearly not going to be enough here. The Baron buff is still going to go wide, and this is Game Lord looking for the very first win under the new banner of Game Lord through the new org. They're going to get rooted away. Gandalf able to tank it up quite a fair decent bit. Gotta be careful, they're random. Oh my god, that damage! What? You must be kidding me! As they close off game one, and that is Game Lord. That was the easiest game I've ever seen. God damn.
I mean, that last kill on Akali, that double kill that he somehow pulled out the bag, that encapsulated this game in a nutshell. It was just diff. Diff in the Baron lane, diff in the jungle, diff in the mid lane, and diff in the bot lane. And Jason, I want to link back to that point that you said earlier. We haven't seen teams really flex it in the laning phase. This Game Lord flexed it in the laning phase right now.
I think that's one of the fastest games that I've ever seen of Wild Rift, to be honest. That was like 11, 12 minutes of time in total. And yeah, like that 80 carry support bot lane, just absolutely doing work, forcing flashes early onto the edge, forcing them to just back away. And then eventually the Diana coming through, Foray Difference, looking for the kill to help solidify that lead. That was insane. And I think that's why we've seen Akali banned in every single game except this one today. We'll see a ban come through the next time, but what a play. Like, again, just going back to the draft, right? Going back to the picks, we look at this composition, it can be very squishy. It's very dependent, I think, on getting ahead early, because if you fall behind early, then the other team has the engagements to deal with you. But looking at just the picks alone, Excoundrel, if I were to say to you, without, seeing who's playing what, right? Ignore the team names. Look at the compositions alone. Who would you favor?
I mean, for the way that Wild Rift is played, Fastpay Wildcats, they have a really strong wombo combo team fight. Like, you go to Dragon fight, you have your ultimates up, you probably win that 9 times out of 10 if you're not getting massively behind in the laning phase. I find that these assassin-focused split push comps are a little bit more difficult to make work unless you're able to get massive advantages. They're a bit better in solo queue, don't get me wrong, but if we're looking at a level playing field in competitive, I've always valued these strong wombo combo team fight comps to work out better. But alas, it was not the case here.
Yeah, and Max, that leads me then to talk about Fastpay Wildcats. I feel kind of bad for them, right? Because the composition looked good. It's just the mechanical skill when it came to the laning phase just didn't work out in their favor. And obviously credit to Game Lord to really show, I think, what they've got under this new banner, right, of previously coming in as the name Singularity. But to really deal with this seemed to be a little bit too tough. And I don't know what to say for the Wildcats. I feel kind of bad, but that was just a stunning showing, I'd say, overall, out of Game Lords.
I mean, I do feel bad a little bit, but at the same time, I don't, because like you're playing up against random. You don't ban Akali. Yeah, you're kind of asking for it, right? At some point. So I would say they have to review what they want to ban away in the second draft. I think it goes without saying. If I see Akali coming on through once again, I'm going to say you are throwing. So I'm hoping that they're going to be trying to shift gears on that one quite a bit. And same for Diana. I think that was also a must ban. You've been talking about it most of these games here, Excoundrel. So 2 champions that if we see it in the second game on the side of Game Lord again, I think that's going to be a pretty easy 2-0 here.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think, again, like you mentioned, random, very well-known Akali player, and Akali has been a pretty high ban rate in this tournament thus far. She's probably one of the strongest champions in the game, just in terms of what her kit can do and the damage output that she has right now. And so, not massively surprised to see random just take it and pop off right here. But it wasn't even just random. It was the fact that we saw Quantum and Scow in the bot lane literally 2v2 to the point where you could just flick them under the tower, and that tower dive was way too easy to execute for Game Lord. So I think every lane has really just stepped up and performed well here for Game Lord, and Fastpay Wildcats have got a lot of soul searching to do to have a real chance at coming back into this second game.
Well, I think it all starts off for them of maybe going for a little bit of different bans, maybe not go for the Lux and Braum together, maybe take away that Akali as the draft's coming up right here, right now, as we get underway with batch 2 here of our third series of the day, brought to you by Maxman and Excoundrel.
Thank you very much, Jason. And here we go. We're going to get into the second game and seeing how that first one went. Maybe the last time we're going to go into the draft for both Fastpay Wildcats versus Game Lord. The first, okay, you know what? Thank you, Fastpay. They started off, they banned away Akali.
Yeah.
We got it. We got him. Thank you.
We got him. We got him. That was the sensible decision. I'm glad that they did it. It was way too easy to just allow random to kind of run away with the game on Akali right there. The Ziggs ban, again, consistent. It's one of the strongest mid laners just through what it can offer in terms of taking towers and snowballing the game. We'll see though. I mean, I think Braum is a good ban in general. I think Braum's a solid ban in general. But if you're not willing to take Janna, who I think is just the second strongest support in the meta right now, Diana ban, love it. Let's go Fastpay Wildcats. These are two super strong picks that you're now getting rid of, and I fully appreciate you for it.
Yeah, I would even potentially still ban the Lee Sin or the Kai'Sa. I think those are still two, unless you want to pick it yourself, which we could still get it played by Rex. As I said, I haven't really seen too much of him on the likes of a Kai'Sa. I haven't seen much of him in general. So I think that could be a potential first pickup for them. Lee Sin ban away from For a Difference. There's not going to be that Dyna into the jungle position. And also because you have the Wukong. If you still want to go for it, I think the Wukong engages were actually not that bad from the OPC, but there was no follow-up. And that's the main issue. If you want to be able to use your Wukong properly and make full use of it, you want to have that follow-up right behind it, behind the double stacks of the Cyclone use. So that's what I'm hoping for. And there you go. The Kai'Sa is going to be banned away, but it's going to be by Game Lord. So, as I said, Lee Sin should be the one, but so far this ban phase is looking a lot better than what we saw in Game 1.
I think Game Lord are the kind of team that will flex picks that you don't really expect. Like, they're the kind of team that I would expect to run Varus, for instance, in a competitive match because of the value that the ultimate can give you, the way that they play as a team, you know, really synergizing well in these skirmishes and team fights. Braum does get banned here. I'm trying to think of a pick that is open that could be, you know, obnoxious, but I think a lot of the ones that are sort of problem picks right now have been taken off the board. Interesting
Lux?
that, yeah, Lux is definitely one of them. Janna could be another one as well, though I don't expect to see a first pick Janna. Wukong could be a good ban, just try and sort of limit what no PC's playing in the jungle.
Oh, wait, no PC into the jungle. I don't remember exactly his hero pool that you could actually go for too much here. They're going to ban away the Yasuo, so okay. Yeah. I think they're maybe predicting a kind of a strat to come on through, so they're going to be banning it away. Yeah, no PC, I'll have to see. I guess he could also try and play Elysium because that one made it through, and I think that he's still one of the best junglers in the game. Rengar also still being through, and we haven't seen For a Difference play competitively on this most recent patch with the Rengar, so that could be an eventuality as they're going to go back to the Wukong. I didn't really have an issue with it. I don't think it was the reason why they lost. I just think that you need a follow-up, you need the backline behind it to be able to actually commit to the fight with the likes of a Wukong. Yeah. So yeah, now Rengar open, I would like to see that.
I don't know. I think Rengar's a good shout. I mean, For a Difference could be playing the Camille jungle here. Random's got his hands on the Gragas. You know, mentioned Random. Good. You know, he's a good Akali player, but do you know what his most played champion is? Gragas. Random is a very strong Gragas player, and so, you know, very easy lock-in for him. It can go into many matchups in the top side of the map. I imagine that that's going to be a Camille jungle from For a Difference. We're going to see a Seraphine, which has been highly prioritized here by Fastpay Wildcats. It's a very strong competitive support. You know, her ultimate is absolutely game-changing, so no surprise to see the Seraphine picked up, but blinding Seraphine always feels a little awkward to me. Blind picking Seraphine does always feel a little awkward to me because there are some matchups that she doesn't do particularly well into.
Okay, we're going to have the Zion Lulu into this one too. Of course, you know, when you have yourself the Lulu, she's going to be mainly trying to pair her ultimate, the Wild Growth, with the front line. So also, if you want to try and save Yeku, that could be working out just fine. But typically, there you're going to use on For a Difference. You're going to use on the likes of Random too. So they got a good idea. Of course, that is if we're going to be having For a Difference playing the jungle Camille, which I'm pretty much expecting unless they swap it last second. I do really like this composition again coming out from Game Lord. It's something that they typically tend to play really well. They do closed off with the Janna then. Do you mention as one of these supports if Braum does not make it on through? Janna's like the second. So it's going to be then, yeah, it's going to be actually Seraphine into the mid. Unless they put like Corki back in mid. So we've seen some weird things between the Dragon lane and also mid position. But typically you would be expecting to see Seraphine in mid lane position here. And then having Rex into the ADC position with the Corki. So I think that will be good, especially paired up with Flankton on the Janna. But they're going to close it off actually with an Olaf. This is the first time we see Olaf throughout the entirety of today. I'm hyped to see how that's going to work out.
So it's actually Gragas mid then. That makes a little more sense now. I was thinking Gragas mid is flexible. I was expecting it to go to random, but random this time around going for the Camille. The reason I think that we're seeing the Camille is it's such a strong matchup into the Darius. So Camille is like a good Camille is like an auto win into Darius. It's very difficult for Darius to actually beat her in the laning phase. Even though Gragas can do that, you see the Gragas. Are we seeing we're seeing Seraphine? No, mid. It is Seraphine mid. I was going to say Rex. Yeah. Rex is on the Corki. And, Gragas into Seraphine. Seraphine, very difficult to push him out of lane. One of the things that Seraphine does well is just constantly poke and put pressure on. Wait, oh my God. No, sorry, the graphic tilted me. It was, it's actually Camille mid and random is playing Gragas. Okay, there we go.
There you go. We're gonna get there eventually onto this one. But yeah, so Camille versus the likes of a Seraphine. So I'm hyped to see actually a matchup. That's a matchup that we don't see very often, so I'm intrigued. Especially the wave clears, that's going to be the strongest part coming on through into this one, especially for the likes of the Seraphine. Once she is that level 3, she's going to be able to clear that real good. So I like it. This is actually a really interesting game. I think there's going to be a really big chance of us seeing Wildcats try and put a little bit of a better fight here, because at least you do not have the Akali, you do not have the Diana. So at least this is looking a lot better for them. But unfortunately, and history tends to repeat itself, we did see in the Baron fight, they won only one matchup, and it was up against the other Turkish team that was Footballist. They have no history winning up against any of these teams in this tournament. So they're going to have a real hard time for this one. If they lose this match, they're out, as it is single elimination format, sorry.
Random is on. I wonder if Random's going to be playing AP Gragas. It's AP, yeah, he is. It's Electrocute. So it won't be Tank Gragas in the top lane here. It'll be AP Gragas on the top side of the map. That is a better matchup into the Darius. You can just poke him away with your barrels, and it's you just bump in for a big Electrocute proc, and in general, Darius can't trade effectively against you in the early game. So Random's going to be flexing his muscles on the AP Gragas here. Interesting to see the Camille in the mid lane. Camille not typically played in the mid lane simply because she doesn't really have many walls to kind of bounce off with her hook shot to find the engages. But against the Seraphine, it's pretty easy to just use your leg sweep and then build up a shield, and then especially at level 6, force Seraphine into an awkward position. So yeah, this is a very cool composition coming out from Game Lord. And again, very single target focus with the Camille and the Olaf. You can run people down. I think the Lulu not necessarily picked for the Xayah. Lulu picked primarily for the Olaf. Lulu Olaf is a combination as old as time in the League of Legends kind of sort of draft phase, and I'm expecting some big things for a difference in that first Drake fight once he has the backup of the Lulu.
Oh no! Oh, there you go. Going to be going to hook shot. Nice flash away, actually able to dodge away that slow. But I mean, is there much you can really do? Well, the answer to that is no. You can't do anything. Game Lord picking up the first blood once again in just under 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's first blood's going to go right into the hands of for a difference on the Olaf. So they're really looking pretty good, and especially Olaf later on. That if he gets a fed early game, all the CC that is available, I'm thinking of the Seraphine, I'm thinking also of no PC, I'm thinking of Flankton too. That CC means literally nothing because he is Olaf and he does have Ragnarok.
A beautiful dive as well. Again, it's just random building up that small advantage in the laning phase, building a wave that's big enough to stack into tower, and then the combination between 4A difference and EQ. And that's one of the things that Camille Mids offers as well, that roam potential that not only, you can roam to just find a kill on the side lane, she is one of the best tower diving setups in the game. Like hook shot into the Hextech Ultimatum, it just locks that target in place so they can't, have any funny business around the tower. And that's what I'm expecting to see a lot from in this Game Lord mid, just comboing with 4A difference in the jungle to try and find those picks off early on and continue to pressure before that first dragon spawns. And it is the Infernal, so expecting big things around this Infernal dragon spawn.
Gonna have a little fiesta over in that position. Also, I did see a few people in the chat asking why are we seeing Game Lord 2 times on the red side. That is because we have a rule set here where the losing team decides which side they want to play on. So because Wildcats did lose themselves the first game, they decided they want to play back on blue side. So that is why we have the current situation at hand for the second game of the series. Oh yeah, as you said, Infernal Drake is going to be a fiesta in that position, of course. You're going to have the Scuttles respawning in a minute or so. So whichever team's able to get that is going to get vision priority. You're already going to see the likes of No PC towards that position. He's got some wards. He's going to pop them down. It is up on the map now. So the fight should be roaring in just the next minute or so. Hopefully that's what's going to be happening. And top side, we're going to have a very, very lonesome random that doesn't have the teleport first item purchase like we saw in the last game, for example. So that means that he's not going to be able to join up that easily. He's going to have to do so by foot. And that means that Wildcats, this is a big opening for them. They got themselves the 5-man present up against the 4-man team of GameLord. Is still going to see the Gragas joining up. Before a difference, he's going to pop the Ragnarok, going to try and smite it away. And he gets it. He just like, this is mine. He yoinks it away to himself. The Encore not going to be doing too much, unfortunately, for the side of Wildcats. And the health bars are still looking pretty scary. That's going to be no PC losing his life in the process. The Blade Caller could be huge from the likes of Quantum. He's not going to call them back just yet. Hectic ultimatum from Yeku. He's literally just going in 1v3. The team is finally there to back him up. He's going to be doing a hook shot over, and he's going to be getting his head chopped right off by Orion. That was a pretty close fight, but though he's going to go for the re-engage. Orion maybe being a little bit too overzealous. The body slam is there to follow up. He does... Wait, that was a flash midway during the animation. Okay, that was clean, but still no kills able to come out at the end of this engage. But that is still the Infernal Drake yoinked away perfectly by For a Difference. As Gandalf maybe about to get dived once again before a difference. You've got to be careful. I know you're a tanky boy, but maybe not that tanky. You've got to wait for the wave to come up. And Gandalf, we know here, Excoundrel, he's going to be losing his life. He's going to be getting hit by the undertow. The slow comes on through, and that's going to be For a Difference. Already 3-0 on Olaf. He is looking unstoppable, literally and figuratively, because that Ragnarok, man, you're not going to be putting any CC on that lad.
Oh my word. I mean, that was nutty from start to finish. I really like what Fastpay Wildcats tried to do here and trade for the top lane tier 1, but a great rotation from UQ to essentially get up there and stop it from going down. But that is the biggest Fields Badman dragon fight I have seen in a significant amount of time. I mean, For a Difference literally strolled in there and just slapped the smite down and said, mine. And then walks away, dodges out from the Seraphine ultimate with the flash. The wombo combo didn't land properly from the Fastpay Wildcats. I think they were caught a little off guard from the steal. And that was, again, another clean execution from GameLord, who are now finding themselves about 3k gold in the lead. That could have been really good from Fastpay Wildcats. They were abusing the fact that they saw, random stay on the top side of the map. They were abusing the fact that they, I mean, there's just a 1v1 in the bot lane. They were abusing the fact that they had... a very strong man advantage. I mean, Random doesn't. How does Random survive here? But they were abusing the man advantage, Max. They were abusing the man advantage, and I like that they were so proactive with it. But they just fluffed on the smite, and then they fluffed on the team fight following. They weren't able to abuse that man advantage in the 4v5 that proceeded. And by the time that Random came, they hadn't built a significant enough advantage up, and that was just able for GameLord to turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, they're not even waiting for the Drake to spawn. They're just instantly going to use it, man. To hell the next Drake. We just want to increase our gold lead. It's already up to 4,000. They're looking to increase it to an extra 2,000 to 3,000 after this one. Get himself one-man form. That's going to be instantly popped away. So I like that push actually coming on through. Good rotation from Wildcats to try and negate to a bare minimum that Herald usage. But For a Difference, he's a sneaky lad. He sees Gandalf. 3, 2, 1. Oh, no, he doesn't go for it. Orion's going to be checking out the push. Gets the slow down. The Apparent does connect. Unfortunately, no follow-up damage from him. So no other big trade-off coming out. But hey, that could have been really scary for Gandalf if there was not going to be Orion to follow up.
Fastpay Wildcats, they just need to stabilize the ship here. They have really good scaling. They have really good teamfight potential. The Seraphine, Wukong, the Corki have lots of AoE damage. If you can actually land this wombo combo, these teamfights are very winnable for you. The problem is just, these abilities for GameLord to pressure out in the 1v1. They are so good at just forcing fights in where they have a man advantage, or just forcing fights when they know they can win out in a side lane, or making those individual catches with the Camille. That's where they've been really excelling. And again, they disengaged from that team fight really nicely around the Dragons, then re-engage in what felt like some smaller skirmishes. Really, really good stuff from GameLord thus far. They're looking like the real deal in this tournament. A lot of people were expecting big things from them. It's very easy to talk the talk, but GameLord are definitely walking the walk.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Doom said, right, May, you wait, May, we're going to be ready. And indeed, I've got to say, he did not disappoint with this team they currently got set up with the likes of GameLord 2. So you got to be careful here. Random bottom side, gonna get himself that plate though next to the Dragon Pit. He's gonna be hopping right on over For a Difference. Understood he was a little bit too deep in that engage. Still got himself the Ragnarok ready to go at literally any time. The Honey Fruit is up there. He's not going to be getting it just yet because Wildcats... Oh, there you go. Random. Oh, a little bit too solo. The explosive class able to disrupt the initial position. The teleport to the backline. They don't expect it. They have no vision on that. They get the Encore. Gets a little bit of CC. They do take down the likes of Random. That is still big. They're going to be losing that tower because of it. And their mid tower is going to be unlocking even more late game team fighting potential for GameLord. So sure, they don't get it. The monsoon really big actually, but it's just going to be delaying it. Wait, the tower's going to go very low. I thought for a second they were going to lose themselves this. Olaf, but he's going to use the Ragnarok, moving away. No PC wants to go for the fight, will get polymorphed away, but he does not have the ultimate right now, so he cannot go for the Cyclone, and he's not going to go any further.
It was a good punish from what was a really ridiculous engage from Random. just going in 1v4 when his team had backed off towards the mid lane. I mean, I'm expecting the team comms was random, saying, I can go, I can find the flank, but his team just weren't in position. So it was a good punish, but they lose 2 towers for it. More importantly, they lose mid lane tier 1. They also pick up the tier 1 in the bot lane. Yes, okay, you picked up the Cloud Drake, which can be relatively impactful in terms of rotations around the map, but it's just more gold funneled into the pockets of Game Lord, who are now significantly ahead.
Well. No PC. We meet again. Well, not for long, because he's going to go down instantly, man. He's got nothing to do in the top side. Without that protection of that tower, he's going to lose his life instantly. And yeah, it just seems like they're just playing with their food right now. The gold lead already just about to hit the 10,000 gold lead at just about the 10-minute mark. This is looking like a very, very scary game. And Wildcats, I'm not saying it's impossible for the comeback to happen. It's very unlikely. And I think that we got to really take that into account here, as the Baron's going to be initiated upon. They got the man advantage. They want to threaten it for a difference pretty low. If he dies, they lose the smite. They're going to be good for the engage themselves. Yeku want to keep them away with a Camille. That's exactly what you want when you know they're not ready to take a head-on-head team fight. The TP comes in a little bit late, but the Baron is still there. You do not want to fight. You want to keep the Baron buff, go back to base, reset, get the items, and use the Baron buff to maybe get even more on the map.
They got away with murder. Absolutely got away with murder there, Game Lord. I mean, you saw how low 4A difference was. If you brute force that as Fastpay Wildcats, you maybe take out the Olaf. You could potentially look for a steal, even get a team fight wombo combo win. But that, I mean, that was just getting away with murder. Even having to use the wild rift onto Olaf as wild rift, the wild growth onto Olaf in the Baron pit to keep him healthy and alive. Somehow Game Lord get away with that. Somehow. But it just shows you the strength of their composition right now, the strength of their team. That it's Fastpay Wildcats don't even feel confident enough to push in onto the Baron when it's being taken at 11 minutes into the game. And Game Lord systematically like taking these big game-winning objectives. They saw it last game. This is maybe not as dominant as the previous game, but they are still taking those objectives. They're still taking the game-ending objectives like the Baron, and they're really utilizing them.
Yeah, they're using every single lead that they have to their name right now, which is why Game Lord is looking just as such a big threat in this entire tournament. Like, you know, Na'Vi and Team Kessler may be shivering in their boots after this one, seeing how strong this team currently look after the reformation as of recent times, after they jumped over the boat over to the side of Game Lord, though. No BC there goes, going to go for the Cyclone into the Encore. That's the combo we want to see. Only connects on one target, unfortunately. And Zai still got that Feather Storm, so he can very easily just dislocate himself away from that fight and still be very comfortable. Now he's going to be on a 1v1 versus Rex. And Rex, I mean, what opposition can you do versus that Zai? Unfortunately, nothing. They go for the backline. The health bar are just melting away. And Wildcats are going to lose almost everyone except for Flankton. He's support. He's not going to do anything. They're looking for 2 inhib towers, and I believe Excoundrel, this is just about to be game and series over to the end of Game Lord.
Yeah, there's no way that Janna can stop this. This will be another super quick win coming out from Game Lord, able to negotiate those team fights. You can see the power of the Xayah versus these type of wombo combos, and just a beautifully timed Featherstorm to keep herself safe. Quantum really showing why he's taken that spot in the AD carry role. And honestly, Jason, looking from the sidelines, Game Lord looked like the real deal.
Yeah, so we start off the day talking about Na'Vi, a team that you give them an inch, they'll take a mile against you, or you give them a centimeter and they'll take a kilometer. It depends on where in the world you're from. And then we talked about the other team coming up with Team Queso, where they're more methodical. They play slower. Even if they have a lead, they're still, you know, really thinking about their plays before they go for it. And then we go into Game Lord, who just absolutely slapped Fastpay Wildcats there. I mean, you saw the leads they had in Game 1 initially when it came to the dual lane, the AD carry, up against their opponents, winning 2v2 basically down there. In this game, they do pretty much the same thing, not necessarily in the AD carry role, but around the map, constantly punishing them. I'm not sure how as an Olaf for 4A, you walk into Dragon, steal Infernal Drake, walk away, and then you still turn around and end up winning the fight. Like, that was insane out of them, and the confidence out of Game Lord is at an all-time high. I think Doom in particular, their coach of the team, really provides like a great little angle for them of what kind of compositions we can use, how we should play against other certain compositions. And Game Lord, like you said, the real deal definitely as they advance through to the semifinals. Max, that was a completely different team than what we saw when they were under the banner Singularity in the Baron fight.
I mean, just like you said, was a for a difference push. Like, I had to call 911 after that because I just witnessed a robbery. That was not allowed to happen in the first place because it was just such a good fight from general. And especially on the first game, we just saw like Dooms, that draft was laid out for him. It was like, what, this Diana and also like just the entire comp was just looking so good. Yeah, Diana, sorry, I can't speak anymore. Diana with also the Kali is going to be there. And they were looking really dominant in general. And they are looking like they really built that synergy back And this is the old Singularity now, still with a few changes, but it feels like they're as confident and as dominant as they were even under the ban of Singularity. So I think this is a team that we're looking to potentially make it right to the finals. We still got there to see who they're going to be facing up against in the semifinals, but if they keep playing like this all the time, and this is them still in their very early days as Game Lord, they still got a lot more things to work and improve on. This is just the very start for them for sure.
I think that's what's so exciting about the team Excoundrel. I mean, he talked about them before, Singularity, as well as Max just pointed out, very early stage for them as they have the potential to be one of the top 3 teams in my eyes here in EU. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that from what I've seen right here, just how quickly they abuse windows in the game to take advantages, like going for very early tower dive rotations. They've got great mid-jungle duo synergy, making that roam across the map. And we saw it in the first game when we had the Diana Jhin combo towards the bot. This time we had Camille Olaf up towards the top. Like, they are so good at just pinpointing explicit weaknesses in the laning phase and taking advantage of them. And they use that to snowball very early on. And that's what's interesting to me. You pair that up against Queso, you pair that up against Na'Vi, where they're a little bit slower or they wait for the later team fights to really pop off. Can you deal with Game Lord's instant pressure? Like, from the very, very time the minions spawn, Game Lord are looking for opportunities to put you in the dirt. And they did it very easily against Fastpay Wildcats, clearly, but might not be as an effective strategy against Na'Vi or against Team Queso, who clearly have these very high skill caliber players too. And that's where the test for Game Lord's going to be for me. Is this a roster that can replicate the same kind of success versus teams that are not going to run it down in the laning phase? They're not going to have a rough laning phase. And that's going to be the interesting thing, if they, of course, make it to the finals, because there is another big matchup to close out the day today with another big team.
Yeah, this is the creme de la creme match I was looking forward to today. Tribe Gaming up against Trova Nova. I want to see Snitch, the ex-HOTS player, going into the mid lane. I want to see Leon, who has, I think, more challenger accounts than Max has skins. And I'll tell you what, Max has a lot of skins. But Max, this is such a crazy game, I think. A crazy way to finish off the day as well.
I mean, it's just going to be an insane matchup. I know I've been sent out about all the matches, but because every single team it makes part of like some of the best teams in Europe in general. So it goes to show that really the level of competition is at its all-time high. Though I do want to say Trova Nova, I think that the main issue with them is that they started off a few months ago when a few community tournaments started. They started off the strongest, I would say. They were dominating in most of their matches, and I thought they were at the time the best team in Europe, which I think they were at the time. But there hasn't been an improvement from them. They've been staying very consistent, very, very stale in a way, in the way they play. And you look at other teams like Tribe, looking at the Game Lords now, the Na'Vis that have been able to improve exponentially over time. So Trova Nova, it's been a while since we've seen them, since the Baron fight, right? So I'm hoping to see them actually, that they've been putting in some work and effort, putting some time into scrims also. And if so, they might have improved, because I do think they have a really strong composition, a really strong team, but it seemed like they weren't fully making use of it. So I'm hoping that they adjusted a few things, because if they haven't, Tribe is going to be looking like a really good match for them.
Well, I hope it is going to be a good match, and hope you all at home who have been watching have been enjoying the matches and enjoying the fact that we have a great sponsor here, Mobile Gaming Corp, who is doing a giveaway. You can type ! giveaway in chat and win one of the $10 $50 gift cards that will be given out at the end of day 2. So if you guys haven't gotten entered in that, make sure you do that. Do the ! Giveaway, click the link, and make sure you guys get entered. This is Battle for the Rift, brought to you by Giant Slayers, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes here for our 4th series of the day.